Hi, welcome. I'm Jackie with Planet Einstein, and in today's video I thought I'd give you a few tips to do a little better job of selecting your items from thrift stores. So how to know what to buy at thrift stores. You probably already know and have noticed that the prices at the thrift stores keep inching up a little bit. So it's really important to make sure that you're making smart buys. Some of the thrift stores around the country do take returns. Some of them actually don't take returns. So if you buy an item that you didn't notice there was something wrong with, you're just stuck with it. Now, in my area, most of the thrift stores will give you a store credit if you bring the item back within a certain number of days. But that means, of course, that you still, you don't get the money back. You have to spend that equal amount of money in the store. And, you know, sometimes you can find some things at that moment, sometimes you can't. But I'm going to take a couple of items that I am getting ready to list. I don't have them listed yet, but they will be going up. We're photographing them today. One of them is a pair of Nike shoes. And when I select shoes to purchase in the thrift store, I, of course, always gravitate toward the Nikes that are in really, really good condition, which these particular shoes are. But one of the things you want to look for is the wear on the soles. You know, is the tread good? Is it worn at the heels or at the ball or at the toes of the shoes? You want to look really carefully at the edge of the shoes to make sure it hasn't come unglued or something is wrong there or the shoe's falling apart. A lot of people encourage you to actually flex the shoe. This one doesn't flex because it's so thick, but I can tell by looking at the sole that this is in really good condition. Now, I have cleaned these shoes, although they weren't particularly dirty. I went ahead and scrubbed them down and used the magic eraser on the soles. There was just a little bit of scuffing there, but they cleaned up really, really nicely and are in just phenomenally good condition. One of the other things you want to do with any kind of athletic shoes is to check to make it's authentic, make sure it's authentic. And Nike is pretty easy to do that because they give the number right there on the tag, so you can actually go look the number of the shoe up and find out, number one, if it's real, and then look at the comparable shoes or the exact same shoe. I was able to find this same exact shoe currently listed for sale on eBay, so I know that my pricing will need to be near or maybe even slightly below the price of the competition if I want a fairly quick sale. I want to turn these over quickly. I don't want them to sit in my inventory and draw cobwebs, so I'm going to price them below what other comparable shoes are being sold for. So that is one item to make sure. When you're buying clothing, inspect every inch of it. I have gotten home several times when I was in a hurry and didn't take the time to really inspect. I discovered a couple of holes in one dress I bought. You know, again, my fault for not being really careful. Another one had some stains on it that would not come out, so I'm not going to sell something with holes or with stains. So again, my loss there for not being careful. Now, the one with holes I did take back, and they gave me a store credit. But again, it's the hassle of having to lug it back to the store and get the credit on it and find something else to replace it. So it's easiest. And another thing that's really easy to miss, like on coffee cups, run your finger around the rim, hold it up to a bright light, and look and make sure there are no cracks or no chips, or if there's crazing on it, that it isn't really bad and won't affect the value of it. Now, this is an M.A. Hadley mug, which is pretty desirable. They're not a real hot seller, but they do okay. So I would definitely inspect that carefully before I purchased it. And do the same with anything you buy. Look it over, a couple of different times. If you have somebody with you, have them look it over too. So, getting home and find something chipped or cracked or broken or stained or falling apart is just no fun. So that's my tip number one, is inspect everything carefully that you buy. Number two is the good stuff at Goodwill particularly seems to be hand-picked. I think the store cherry picks a lot of the items, particularly glass items. Something that's really special, I don't see a lot of in the store. So my guess is that it is being taken out of the store and put online for Goodwill's online store for them to sell it themselves. But they don't catch everything, so try to find some maybe not so obvious choices that would get picked every time. And there are some things that I have found. There are a lot of things that I have found that I think maybe have slipped through the cracks and made it to the shelves of the Goodwill. So don't give up hope. There are still a lot of good quality things there. Sometimes you have to dig for it and look on the bottom shelves and behind things and under things. So keep your eyes peeled, and I think you will discover that you can find some quality things, even though Goodwill is, taking a lot of them for their sales themselves. And number three, know what things are selling for. I got to a Goodwill store several months ago. I had been looking for Anthropology brand, which is a really good selling brand of clothing, of pottery, of house goods, etc. And lo and behold, I found one. Then I looked at the price of it and I went, $16.95. I'm not sure if this is going to be worth it. Am I going to be able to make a profit on this? Remember my 4 times rule? If I can sell it for 4 times more than what I pay for it, then that is a good buy. So I'm not just thinking long and hard. I'm getting out my phone and I'm going to my eBay app and I am searching Anthropology vase. And so I scroll through the Anthropology vases. Actually, it wasn't a vase. I take that back. It was a picture, and it was a beautiful picture. But again, $16.95, I really had a question. But my question was very quickly answered when I went on to the sold in the app for my eBay and discovered that it was, I think, $79. There was a sale. There was another sale sale at $84. So quickly I went, yes, I am taking this vase. So this picture, and the picture came home with me, and actually it sold for $82. So that turned out to be a very good buy for me. But you've got to know what the value is. You can't just say, oh, I really like it, I think it will sell for blah, blah, blah. That doesn't work out well in many, many cases. So, competition is stiff. You know, you're competing against Goodwill itself. You're competing against all the other resellers out there. And I just watched a video recently, I think it was yesterday or day before, of a reseller who made a video about why he's pricing things not at the high end of the range where it will take longer to sell. He's pricing things toward the lower end of the price range because he wants fast sales. Now, if you don't mind if it sits for a couple of months or longer, I have some things that have been sitting for up to almost a year now that still haven't sold, that I initially priced too high, and they probably weren't a good buy in the first place. So again, a mistake in buying an item can be pretty costly. So remember that you've got competition, and think about where you want your price point to be. Are you going to price it for a quick sale, get it sold, and move on? Or are you willing to wait? I prefer a quicker sale, so I'm rethinking my always pricing toward the high end. And number 5, let's see, I covered 1, inspect everything. 2, prices are going up, so know what things are selling for. Number 3 is competition is stiff. You know, look and see what the real value of things is, and if you want it to sell quickly, price toward the lower end of the range. And then number 5 is look for obscure or unusual items. And I have kind of found a niche this summer that has done pretty well for me. Actually, 2 niches. They're kind of related. One is sportswear that is related to outdoor activity like bicycling and surfboarding, boarding shorts, bicycle shorts, special shirts and tees that are made for cyclists or for surfboarders. Even though we don't have a lot of surf around Kentucky, they're still popular. But 2 of my board shorts have sold, one to someone in Hawaii and one to someone in California. So remember, we're not just selling to people in our hometown when you're on eBay. You're selling to the world if you're doing global selling as well. So another thing that I have found and have kind of honed in on this niche is women's bras. And I'm learning quickly about this niche that it also has certain brands that do well. 3 of those are pink, you know, Victoria's Secret pink, regular Victoria's Secret, and then the brand Soma does really well. And I just found a new brand that is absolutely amazing, and I just blanked on the name of it. Honey Love. Honey Love. Oh my gosh, is it an amazing bra? And I found 2 brand new with tags in a bag, and my first one sold in like a day. So I still have one left to sell and it's getting lots of views, I think it will sell quickly. So find a niche that isn't what everybody else is selling and that brings a pretty good price. I mean, these sportswear, board shorts and shirts, men's and women's, although I think the men's does better in those. And the women's bras is kind of a special niche. So find one that appeals to you and don't be like everybody else. Again, the competition will kill you. You need to have your item stand out, and if it is priced right to sell quickly, and it is one of just a few instead of thousands or hundreds of thousands, chances are you're going to get a quicker sale. So I hope those 5 tips will give you a little bit of an edge and you'll start doing them. So that's the tip for today's video. So thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one, and bye for now.